Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Outdoor Bound TV. I'm Curt Reef. Well, we're in central Manitoba this week at a pretty unusual place. We're about 6 miles out on the Lake Winnipeg. Now, if any of you have ever been here ice fishing before, you know where I'm sitting is probably a bit unusual because this place is always windy. In fact, it has the nickname the Big Windy for a reason. Well, on this March morning, we've got no wind, very comfortable temperature, so we're taking the opportunity to do a little hole hopping for some of those greenback walleyes.
Good mark. And we got him. Ooh. He's got a little head shake. I'm guessing he's a 23 incher. I'm on the board with the first one, guys. Got him on the Red Tiger Glow Gold Hologram Rattle Spoon. It's a new one for this year. We're up here on Lake Winnipeg today. I got my good friends with me, Ellie Doctor and Zach Doctor, up here helping me test out some new products for the upcoming season. We've been on here about a half hour. We've got a lot of fish that are suspended. We got a school bait fish, so that's kind of what we're looking for when we fish Lake Winnipeg, is if we can get on a school bait, follow that around. Usually the bigger fish are hanging in the area. The way I like to fish Lake Winnipeg is early mornings. I like to have whites, pinks, yellows, something I can light up and glow. I'll fish that to about 10 o'clock, and then I'll switch to a metal color, whether it be nickel, copper, gold. On the rattle spoon, we put a nickel hologram on the back side with a rattle. And the other side, we have a couple colors that are good in Lake Winnipeg, like a pink. And this is kind of your all-around lure. You can use this all day. And then we added a wowing blade for some extra flash. And don't be scared to put a couple minnows on your hook. Bait it up. Fish love scent.
This is like a nicer fish. It's not bad.
Another good eater.
Yeah, he's nice.
I'll try to hold him here. You get that hook out. He's mad. You want the pliers just right there. There, he's all yours. You got him?
Yep. Nice fish.
When I'm fishing up in Winnipeg, I like to put a lot of bait on my lure. I'll run 2 to 3 minnows per lure. Sometimes we might use a minnow head, sometimes use the full minnow. Just depends what you're doing, but having the extra minnows down there doesn't hurt. It has extra scent. The water up here isn't very clear. You might have some pockets that are clear, but the water overall is a little bit dirty. I think having an extra scent in the water helps fish locate where you're at and trigger a strike. Ellie, we got one coming in here on the bottom. It looks like a good mark. That's a real good mark. Our screen's kind of lit up here. We got a lot of bait fish on top. We got a real nice mark on the bottom here, getting close to Ellie. I'm really liking that mark.
There we go.
You want to get him, Zach?
Seems like a nicer fish.
2
This might be a stick.
You really inhaled that spoon. He came to play.
It came off the bottom and just smoked it on the PK green rattle spoon.
No, he's on me. I got mixed up. I thought he was on you. I raised it up when he come and got me. Oh, the gold rattle spoon again. He's not happy. Nice eater. Usually the big ones sit still and let you take a picture. Let's get him back in the water, huh? I thought he was on you, Allie. I just raised it up. I seen him dart up and he was on me in on no time.
Oh, he's going down to the bottom.
It's interesting.
He's coming up. He's nice and work. He's kind of interested. Oh, he went back down.
Oh, ripped it out of his mouth.
Hankey's still there. Don't give up on him.
I had him on
Down my
side
alley.
too hard. Probably took my bait.
Better fish?
Mm-hmm. Better fish.
Oh, nice one. Another good eater.
Wonder Bread on with the Wyoming blade. It's got the silver back and yeah, nice
Yes.
greenback. Nice fish. He's just following me up. Here he comes. They just won't take it. It's like they're not hungry. Just following me still. He'll follow me up and then just go shoot back down. Try and hold it in his face.
I know.
That thing don't even look big.
Came right off the bottom and smoked it.
Oh, it's a toad.
Got it.
Grab. They're going nowhere. Nice fish.
It came off the bottom and just smoked it on the PK green rattle spoon. Outdoor Bound TV will be back after these messages.
Outdoor Bound TV is brought to you by Otter and PK Lures.
You know, a number of you have come up to me at trade shows and asked, well, if I want to go fish Winnipeg, where do I start? Well, there's many communities that really cater to ice fishermen here in Manitoba. Selkirk is on the south end of the lake. They do a great job. There's plenty of hotels and restaurants that'll take great care of you. This trip we're fishing out of Gimli, Manitoba. It's along the western edge of the lake. We're staying at the Lakeview Resort, and they again do a phenomenal job. They've got ice road access right there in Gimli. Also, Manitoba Beach is another community that's a little further south. They've got ice roads there. So if you're looking to access the lake by truck, look for some of these communities that maintain ice roads. The best way to travel though here on Lake Winnipeg that I found is either by snowmobile, snow bear, or if you've got an ATV or side-by-side with tracks. I don't know that I would venture out here with just tires on a side-by-side. Our Polaris has tracks on it, and we'll bring it out a lot of times. But the good old snowmobile, great way to hop around and hole hopping like we're doing today.
I got my PK rattle spoon, and I'm hooking it up with 2 full minnows through the skull, and I'm putting this bait stopper on so the bait doesn't fall off, and it works pretty good. I'm using the green rattle spoon with the bronze Wyoming blade and a nickel hologram.
There, I've got a fish coming in right on the bottom. See if I can entice him to come up a little bit here and give me a look. I'm shaking that PK lure. Oh, there he is. Oh, yeah. He smacked it. I've got a PK lure on here and just a spoon tipped with a couple minnows. And this guy saw it and he wanted it, so he came right after it. Yeah, I can feel those head shakes. Oh, come on up the hole. Come on, buddy. He's wanting to come. Look at that monster greenback walleye. Look at the emerald color to him. Just a gorgeous, gorgeous fish. Look at that. He's probably got to be 24, maybe 25 inches long. Super fish. We're going to get him unhooked and get him right back in the water. So let me show you my setup here today. I'm using the new Outdoor Bound TV Signature Series walleye rod by Tooth Tamer Rods. It's a 36-inch rod. It's a carbon rod, and it's got a ton of backbone, but a real flexible tip. You can see the tip is real flexible, but the backbone of the rod, this part of the rod, barely moves. And that's really what you want for some of these big walleyes here in Lake Winnipeg. Now, on the working end of that, what I'm using today is a spoon, a new rattle spoon from PK Lures, and this one happens to be the Wonder Bread. It's white. It's got blue, orange, and yellow spots on it. It's got a rattle on the back. You can see there's kind of a hologram on the back, but there's a rattle chamber. And then what I really like is there's this small Wyoming blade at the top. It really gives a lot of flash in the water to some of these fish. Now here in Manitoba, it's barbless, so we simply take our pliers and pinch down the barbs on the hook, and you're ready to go. Now what I'm doing is I'm taking just a small salted shiner and I'm tipping that, just putting the whole shiner right on that treble hook so it hangs down kind of off of the spoon just like that. Now sometimes I've had guys use multiple shiners, so put a whole chandelier of shiners down, anything that it'll take to get these fish to bite. All right, let's see if we can get another one. You know, I can hear a bunch of hooting and hollering over there in the snow bears, so let's go over and check out and see what's going on over there.
Definitely an MA. He's huge. Fire Tiger Glow. The Wyoming blade. Stud.
Now you'll see me give my pole some big rips here. I think it's really important in a body of water like this that is really very cloudy, is to give that thing a rip, get that vibration in the water. Hopefully it'll get fish's attention. They'll sense that in the lateral lines along the fish and come on in and find your bait. He's right there underneath it. I can see him coming up on my mark. There, he hit it. There, he got it. Awesome. Oh, I love that head shake of these walleyes. Get that transducer out of the way. Oh, I love those big head shakes. Oh, and he came unhooked right at the hole. Well, we'll get baited up and get right back down there again. Now, I think what happened on that fish is I went to reach for my transducer to pull my transducer out of the hole. I got a little bit of slack in my line, and I think that was enough to let this fish get unhooked. So if you're fishing with a buddy and you got a fish on, give them a holler, have them come over, maybe pull your transducer out of the hole so that doesn't happen to you.
Looks like a good one, huh?
Yeah, not bad. Rattle spoon and aggressive jigging.
Boy, it is great to be out on the ice here in the month of March. The sun's coming up. It's going to be a nice warm day, probably in the mid-30s today. No wind, which is very unusual here on Lake Winnipeg. They don't call it big windy for nothing. Boy, I tell you what, yesterday we had 35 to 40 mile an hour winds. It was bitterly cold out here. Okay.
Wow.
We're nailing it today, huh, guys? Big fish day.
Yeah.
Loving this Winnipeg. Can't get enough of it. Bring your PKs. You won't be sorry.
Outdoor Bound TV is brought to you by Ice Force by Rapala and Strike Master.
We've got another small line showing up on the graph. Again, sometimes these are smaller fish, or he could just be out on the outskirts of my cone too. So we'll see if we can bring him in a little closer here and maybe get him interested. Now, when I talk about the cone, is your transducer on your electronics puts down a sonar cone into the water, and that cone is much narrower at the top than it is at the bottom. And when a fish first enters that sonar cone, they show up as probably green or maybe even a yellow thin line, and the closer they get to the center of the cone, the oranger they'll get and red they'll get. And when they're right there, oh, there's a fish. He came right there and hit it. He came from out of that cone and just gave it a smack. Ooh, he's pulling. I switched up my bait just a little bit and went with a little smaller presentation. The big presentation wasn't seeming to work. And look at that, just another beautiful Manitoba walleye. I love the look of these fish. Look at the just beautiful green, emerald green color. Never get sick of catching these fish. Folks, if you're interested in coming to Manitoba to fish for some of these awesome greenback walleyes, I tell you what, make it a destination. And we hope that you'll join us again here next week when we'll bring you more great hunting and fishing action from around the U.S., around Canada, and around the world, right here on Outdoor Bound TV. There's more fish down there.
Outdoor Bound TV is brought to you by Cold Nation Outdoors and Mountain Dew.
PK tip of the week, wet wipes. Clean everything.
Yeah.
There, he just nibbled on it a little bit.
It's like a nibble, nibble, nibble.
Oh, give him a kiss.
I need a break. I'll be back.
Outdoor Bound TV is brought to you by Markham Technologies and Venom Outdoors.